Hare Krishna, dear devotees, it's Chandra Chaitanya Das. And so, welcome to this week's Saturday rest and retreat. So good to be back with all of you guys. Um, so, so yesterday we talked about kind of like what the program is. We kind of also walked through a new tune. Um, it's one of my favorites. It's really beautiful. I use it when I'm actually doing Harinam out in public all the time. And Yeah, so the thing that I didn't mention yesterday, just for sake of time and everything going on, was yesterday was Sri Purushottam Das Thakur's appearance day. So it's another celebration, another opportunity for us to um, honor a great Vaishnava saint. So I did a little bit of a write-up on it, and you can actually read this on the blog as well. You can just go to thebhaktihouse.org um, and then click on the blog link at the top in the header, and then you can find this. And it actually we did this yesterday, so you should have access to it. So the appearance of a Vaishnava marks the descent of a divine life. So it's a divine personality, someone that is marking this out into this material world. So we have to think we're living in this material universe, this material world, where all the time so many things are taking our attention away from the divine, right? And so what's nice is that we can recognize on a daily basis, even, and especially on the weekends as we go through these bhakti programs, our Friday kirtans, Saturday rest and retreats, and then our Sunday satsangs. But Sri Purushottam Das Thakur, he's honored within the Gaudiya Vaishnava tradition as a very devoted servant in the line of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Um, he was steady in bhajanas, faithful to his guru, and very deeply attached to the holy name. So a lot of what we do here is applicable in what we're kind of like in his thinking of that. Guys, excuse me for just a sec. I'm going to get the slide out real quick. I like it a little bit dark, very meditative in this kind of an environment. So the thing I can tell you a little bit as far as in this Gaudiya Vaishnava line that the we have so many different acharyas, so many great personalities that have come before us, and they've kind of paved the way to, in so many ways, make our way a little bit easier. And so we get mercy from these senior devotees, these people that have come before us. And so it's worth paying homage and honor to them. Um, I'm not going to make today's rest and retreat as long as some of the other rest and retreats that I've done. We're going to have a little bit more time today to do some resting and some retreating. I also have some other obligations a little bit later on that I have to manage. We're going to be doing some work in different food pantries and stuff here and around Jackson. So that's important as well. So I just wanted to kind of more or less bring out this observance of uh, Sri Purushottam Das Thakur, and just kind of give you guys kind of an idea of like where he's at. There's as far as disciplic succession goes, evam parampara praptam imam raja rajasa shayo viduha uh, sa kalena ha mahatta yoga nashta parantapa. And the translation of this translation, by the way, is from A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. This supreme science was thus received through the chain of disciplic succession, and the saintly kings understood it in that way. But in course of time, the succession was broken. So the succession of disciplic succession was broken, and therefore the science, as it is, appears to be lost. So this is to teach us that parampara actually preserves truth and integrity. So Sri Purushottam Das Thakur, he stands within that sacred chain, that sacred Gaudiya Vaishnava chain of devotees and acharyas, through humility, through service, um, also through divine knowledge that was carried forward and kept intact through him. So it's very important that we kind of understand that. Another verse is Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam 11:5 and 32. It's Krishna Varnam Tirasha Krishnam Sangopa Gastara Parasadam. And Yajnaya saṅkīrtana prayeher yajantihi sumedhasa. So the translation again by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada is, in this age of Kali, intelligent persons perform congregational chanting to worship the incarnation of Godhead, who constantly sings the names of Krishna. Although his complexion is not blackish, he is Krishna himself. He is accompanied by his associates, servants, weapons, and confidential companions. Sri Purushottam Das Thakur, he dedicated his life to this saṅkīrtana movement that we're propagating even up to this day, even now. So to honor him is to actually chant. So by chanting, we're actually honoring this parampara. And in particular today, or actually rather yesterday more so, because it was his appearance day, but we're celebrating it now, Sri Purushottam Das Thakur. And so to do that, we can actually participate in congregational chanting. That's doing Harinam. We can do that with our new song that we've learned. There's other verses that I've put together for you guys in this as well, through Sri Purushottam Das Thakur's appearance. You guys can check that out on the blog. The blog post is going to look like this for you guys. So, and then we've also got, so today is Saturday Rest and Retreat. So I've got a really special message for you guys today. It's about cooling the fire of material life. So we get wrapped up and inundated with material life all the time. And sometimes it's good to kind of cool it, put out the fire a little bit, so that we can just kind of continue on this spiritual path, this devotional path, and keep our happiness, keep our sanity. We always think that it's better on the other side, but it really never is it? So with Friday night, it's about chanting, it's about Harinam. Saturday is where we actually start to absorb. So we absorb kind of what we learned yesterday with the kirtan and the music and everything. And today's about resting and retreating, and but not necessarily about inactivity per se. It's more about integration. We're taking yesterday and integrating it into today in our rest so that we keep it memorable. And so our meditation for today is Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 2, Verse 17. And it's Shratam Swakatha Krishna Punya Kirtana Hridiyantasto Hi Habhadrani Vidutnoti Sushrit Satam. So the translation, again, by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead, who is the Param Atma, that's the Supersoul, in everyone's heart, and the benefactor of the truthful devotee, cleanses desire for material enjoyment from the heart of the devotee, who relishes his messages, which are in themselves virtuous when properly heard and chanted. So why does this particular verse kind of guide our Saturday rest and retreat? Well, like I said, Friday night kind of ignites the fire of saṅkīrtana. Saturday allows Krishna to kind of work within the heart, so kind of within that heart of ours. And this verse really simply explains that hearing is about purification, it's purifying for us. Chanting is purifying. And so we're hearing and listening as well and chanting. And then Krishna personally cleanses the heart. So when we do our chanting, when we're hearing chanting, Krishna is actually, clearing that heart out. We're dusting off that heart, which is a little bit of what we talked about yesterday. So rest and retreat in this space where that cleansing deepens. That's what we want to do. So there's no pressure here on rest and retreat days, no performance. Just basically, I want you guys to think about the word absorption here. We're kind of absorbing the holy name. And so this is a mood of kind of softness. Bhakti itself is not forced. It kind of unfolds when the heart feels a sense of safety. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught that the inner qualification for steady chanting. So there's more things with this as well that you can dive into. I've got that on the blog post, and again, I'll keep those links to both of these posts in the description below this video once I get a little bit of time, probably later on today or sometime tomorrow, to put these up for you guys. So if you are in a hurry, or if you really would like to check it out sooner rather than later, the recommendation then is to just go to thebhaktihouse.org. It's THEBHAKTIHOUSE.org, thebhaktihouse.org. And then just click on posts, and you can actually see, or blog, and you can actually see the different blog posts that we have listed. And these will be the most recent ones as of right now, as of recording this. So that's kind of what I wanted to talk about a little today. Was just more about just kind of this absorption. We're listening, we're hearing, to bring it into perspective a little bit more. So I've got the keyboard here, and so I wanted to just really easily show you guys today's song that we've been studying. So we've got A minor right here. Whoops, let me show you guys here. You can get in this shot here. So A minor, we're kind of on this side of the keyboard. So this is going down the keyboard. So this is the lowest note on this particular one. But A minor is A is right, C is right here, and then you have E. So A, C, E. So this is going to be the first, and then we're going to jump over here to F, which is, so it's F, A, C, and then the next one and final one we're going to jump over to is going to be this G. So it's G, B, D. And so if we put this on the harmonium where we get our drone, we can do like, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare. So we're going from A to F, and then back to A minor. And when we get to that A minor, it's going to be a little bit longer that we're going to hold that. So Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Rama. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. So that's kind of help you better integrate today's or this forthcoming week's Mahamantra tune. So you can practice it, warm your vocals up a little bit. You can do some exercises just with the keys. I do that very often before doing a kirtan or something. And what that very much lets us do is it just kind of it warms your vocals up, it kind of prepares you. A lot of times you'll see people like leading kirtan with the harmonium, and they'll actually be going through the keys. So you might be just kind of practicing that a little bit. You might be going through some other things as well, and that's really, really relevant. So what I always try to do before I do the verses, and I've actually not been doing that so regularly on this channel, is especially when we're looking at or diving into some of the shastra, the especially Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam and so on, is to just give a little prayer and some respects out to Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So now we can get into a little bit of yoga. And it's going to be kind of a shortened yoga session today, but it's just something that I want to get you guys started on so that you can actually take a little bit of time today to kind of integrate, work on yourself a little bit, and then just kind of really kind of ease into it. This is more motivation than anything, but it's also about just showing by example as well. And so that's what I want these Saturday rest and retreats to be kind of more about. And if I didn't have other obligations kind of back to back today, I would actually take a little bit more time with you guys and do some more yoga. And I'm actually working on a program right now for us where we can start to have some regular yoga where I'll be teaching yoga and stuff a little bit more. And this is especially going to be more true and probably more prominent on the channel as I personally, shed some weight and start to limber up a little bit and become more flexible myself. So we live, we learn, right? So let me see if I can kind of find a little bit of space here where we can actually do some yoga. And I'll tell you guys in just a short while, here in just a moment, I'll share with you guys some things that I've been actually working on, like as far as just kind of shedding weight and dropping some of the pounds and so on. So we'll start off in Namaste. And we'll just breathe in nice and slowly, and then let it out nice and slowly through the mouth. So breathe in through the nose. And when you've completely inhaled, just hold it for just a moment, and then just kind of let it out nice and slow. And we'll keep repeating this for a little bit. And just think about the Lord. Just think about something meaningful to you. If you don't have to necessarily be a believer or religious at all, or even that spiritual for that matter, to be able to get some great benefit just out of the meditation alone. You can even quiet your mind to where you're really thinking about very little at all. You can let go of whatever stress or whatever angst or whatever worries or concerns, and all that kind of stuff can just be let out as you expel the breath and just let it all out nice and calmly. And just as an aside here, you do not have to keep measured with my inhales and my exhales. Inhales and my exhales may be vastly different than yours just because of my frame and size and everything and lung capacity and so on. So my advice is to breathe in, hold it, and then let it out nice and slowly. And as you let out all of the things that have been bothering you, all of the stress, all the worry, anything like that, just let it all go. And when you feel nice and relaxed, and that might be a little bit of time, just start to let your shoulders kind of loosen up a little bit. So just some shoulder rotations. You can do them both together, just moving them back and then to the front and then back again, kind of in a nice rotation. And then when you feel like that's a good time, you feel like your shoulders and whatnot are nice and warmed up, you can then do one at a time and then go to the other side and do the same. So it's kind of like rowing a boat or doing back paddling, like you kind of that same kind of movement. And then you can just start to let your elbows start to come back a little bit as well. So you're coming up and then back, up and then back, up and then back. And then you can start to extend your arms a little bit as well. And you're just going back, trying to keep your center centered while you just let those arms just kind of do a natural rotation, nice and slow. We don't want to injure ourselves at all. We just want to take it nice and slow. And of course, go at your own rate. This is not me telling you what to do. This is really your intuition taking over a little bit with your yoga. Something else I want to talk to you guys about here as far as yoga goes is yoga is an everyday movement, you know? I mean, if you go back and you read the Panjali Yoga Sutras and you read a lot of the different scripture-based yoga things, there were not necessarily like strict asanas that were described. It was actually just movement. And but over the time, you know, over a long time, actually, yoga has incorporated itself into like asanas that we all know and recognize today. Um, so asana, like just in your regular kind of your lotus pose, so to speak. Or you can just go like cross-legged and you can keep your hands on your knees, relaxed. Now that those shoulders are nice and relaxed, you might notice or start to feel that maybe those hips, maybe those knees need to be relaxed a little bit also. And so that's an indication for us to kind of move more in that direction. And as we do that, we might even notice that our spine starts to become a little bit more flexible as we kind of just go out and then back in. We're just allowing movement to kind of guide us here. And then you can start to let our legs out nice and slowly. Come down as you are able. I've mentioned this in previous weeks that kind of my stomach here, I've got a little bit of weight here, some flab, if you will. This kind of hinders me from being able to go all the way down. And if that's the case with you as well, try to sit up higher, like move your body like up higher, like almost at a nice 90 degrees, but you're intentionally keeping that spine elongated up. And you're coming up, and then reach your arms up nice and high, and then just kind of bend forward You don't have to come down to the feet. Just let the weight of these hands and your head, and that just kind of let your body bend there at the hips. This will loosen those hips up nicely. If you want to do a namaste above the head, you can do that as well. And then you can bring your arms back and then just do a little bit of rotation here, using your arms and your hands and your torso, keeping that core engaged. You want to keep that core nice and tight. And now we can begin to move the legs up. And in butterfly pose, we can actually, when we have our hips like this, they can come up and down. But we want to be very gentle to begin with, right? You can just kind of hold on to the toes and then just kind of reach forward a little bit without really flapping your legs up and down. You can just kind of move forward. And you'll start to really feel this in the hips, in the groin area a little bit, kind of in this area of the legs. We don't have to go fast at all. And then we can move our legs out. And I have to be careful a little bit. I tend to get a little bit of a cramp on this side when this leg gets out like this with the other one out. So to be a little bit careful there. I can feel that. So maybe I won't come out as much, or maybe I'll just have to like loosen that hip up this way. Then come over this way. And that's fine. We can modify as needed. And the reality is that we can all modify according to our own body's needs. That's one thing that I really want to stress. We can all modify according to our own body's needs. And we can start to go this way a little bit. And then more out this way. Kind of like we're doing a flying side kick like in karate or something. And if you come down like this, you should be able to feel this stretch in the lower back here, but on the side of where the love handles are. And then you can just continue to alternate as you like. And in the spine. Nice. And these yoga warm-ups are especially helpful for building a level of flexibility beyond where you're currently at. So you can just kind of let this, what seems like, I don't know, for many of us, it may seem not as important. This is this foundational stuff, this really basic kind of yoga stretches and warming into your yoga is so vitally important for actually increasing your flexibility. So if you want to be more flexible and you want to feel, I guess, more alive in your body, this is a great way for you to do that in a very gentle way. And so now we can just kind of cross our legs like this and come forward. And as we do, we can go into cat stretch. And I'll move it this way so that you guys can kind of more see. If your yoga pants are falling down, hike them up. And so we can kind of do this. And then you just let that back just kind of rise up. And then let it kind of go down. So you're actually like on this side, this should be a dip now, whereas before it was more like a curved rounded over. Okay. And just let your butt be pointed outward, let the head and eyes be pointed that way as well, but just in the opposite direction. And when you're done with that, you can actually take your feet like this, plant those toes into the ground, and then very slowly come up. As you do, you can breathe in. As you go into downward dog. And you should feel that stretch nice on those hamstrings and in the back of those calves. And maybe even in the back of those arms a little bit. And if you keep your back, try to keep your back straight in that diagonal if you can, letting some of that butt move a little bit backwards, and you'll feel that stretch even more. And we'll come back down into the cat step together. And then back out. You can hold these poses as long as you like. And when you're done, we can come back to center again on our mat. Now you can try to see if maybe your legs are more comfortable being spread out. Maybe you're able to get a better distance. If you guys remember before, I was having to take this leg and actually turn it inward. But now there's a little bit of cramping, but not too much. It's actually feeling much better now. And this is yoga. This is actually coming into our body's sacred space. Warming that up. Now you can feel this stretch as you come down center. You can feel that more in the groin area. So, and in these areas, this area of your hamstrings. And if you want, keep that back nice and straight, and then just kind of reach forward up, and then just kind of come down a little bit at a time until it's uncomfortable, but not too uncomfortable. And then just kind of let your hands sit on the mat. And once you do that, that's your comfort position. Take those elbows down to the mat as much as you can. Now you can really feel that stretch. And it feels a sense of peace. I always get a sense of peacefulness here in this pose. And you can bounce just a little bit if you feel like you need to kind of warm those up a little bit more. And now we have kind of warmed our body up. So now we're in a good position to do meditation, to do more yoga, to do more stretches, and so on. One thing else you can do is, I like the boat pose. This is one that I like to do a lot. This one is great for the solar plexus and your abdomen. You can come down. This is Sarvasana. This is corpse pose. We can keep our arms nice to the side, comfortable and relaxed. You can let those feet go. I'm personally feeling a little bit of release in my lower back. My head is feeling nice and grounded into the floor. My breathing is nice and steady. You can feel my body from a warm state kind of relaxing a little bit more now. You can breathe in nice and deep. Hold that breath, and as you do, you can take these legs and bring them up. And hold this position just for a moment as you're able, but listen to your body. That core is going to be nice and engaged now. You can feel those stomach muscles. And if you take your legs down just a little bit more to where it's a little more uncomfortable, that core tightens even more. And you can just slowly take it down to the floor. Nice and slow. Rely on those pelvic muscles. There you go. Then you can release a little bit more. You might feel some release in those shoulders. You feel that breath just kind of let out and release any stress that you've been feeling, any worry, any anxiety, anything like that can just be released. It can just let go. You don't need to hold on to that any longer. And then when you're nice and relaxed again, we'll repeat this, but this time we'll take the torso and incline it as well, kind of like a bow. So instead of just taking the legs up, we'll also take our core up with us, our body, keeping it nice and straight. as well as we can. So we'll just relax, let it all out. Then a deep breath in, then we'll come up. And then up. Try to keep your arms nice and parallel with the ground. That's kind of the angle that you want your body beat at. And just hold that for a moment. Let your arms go a little bit to the sides. And then just come back slowly. You just want to kind of pivot on your backside. Come down and up and down and back up. Okay? Very nice, guys. We can come back to our butterfly stretch. We can cross our legs now. And we can just chant Maha Mantra for a little bit of time. You can do it silently, or you can do it out loud. Do it with your breath in a nice, natural manner. We breathe in nice and deep. Hare Kṛṣṇa, Hare Kṛṣṇa, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And we breathe in again, nice and deep. Spine nice and long. Hare Kṛṣṇa, Hare Kṛṣṇa, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Kṛṣṇa, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And you can continue doing this. Devotees, you can continue doing this for as long as you like. And then just let this rest and retreat day just kind of really consume you. And remember, we're putting out the fire of material life. We're taking hold and grasping onto something that is eternal and never ending. And that's the holy names, this Maha Mantra. And we're just taking this, keeping it in our heart. Krishna is cleansing that heart, getting rid of the dust that's on the mirror of the heart that we talked about more yesterday. And allowing that fire, that material life, just to kind of dissipate. And I get a visual in my head when I think about this. It's like, like when you put out like a candle with one of those candle things that actually put the candles out. I forget what they're called. I know it's really common sense, but my brain's just not functioning in that direction. But you put that out, and then the smoke kind of goes. The flame is out, smoke is just kind of dissipating in all directions. And I like that kind of visual because it helps me to kind of see. It's almost mysterious in a sense. We're like, when you take the light out, as I did earlier when I dimmed the lights here, I turned the lights out here in the Bhakti House. We can just sit in this stillness and this quiet. We can chant our rounds, which is really, really important. Hare Kṛṣṇa, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Kṛṣṇa, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And just find a nice devotional spot to rest and relax and to focus your attention and time on Krishna, God, your higher self, however you define it. And just allow yourself this opportune moment, like your whole week. You have people at you, coming at you, talking to you, wanting this, wanting that, needing this, needing that. And you're a very devoted, humble servant. And so you do your best to offer what you can to help and to serve. But in this moment, in this time, this Saturday, this is your time for yourself, for your spiritual development. This is a time where you can do some reading. You can practice your kirtan tune. Hare Kṛṣṇa, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Rama. So devotees, thank you so much for joining me on this Saturday rest and retreat. Tomorrow we have our satsang. We'll go more deeper into Shastra and hopefully set the stage for you and to prepare you for the coming up week. Coming up Monday, if you're going back to work, if you're sitting in the office, coming up Monday and stuff like that, you're taking opportunities and you'll see that, you have to kind of trust sometimes that things will take care of themselves. We can try to make things happen. We can try to put out the best intention out there. But when we really trust Krishna or God or our higher self or that inner voice that's within you, when we really trust that and just release our own ego and release whatever is going on within us and just let it go and let that inner voice, that Krishna that's within us, take over and lead and let us lead us down a better path, and present opportunities and provide us with mercy, then you'll see that things just tend to magically happen automatically. It's really, really hard to explain, from a devotee perspective. And it's not the reason to do it. The reason always is going to be to serve Krishna, to to be friends with Krishna, to unite yourself with God and really have a connection with the divine in whatever way makes sense to you. And it's not about what you get or the mercy that you receive, but it's kind of just a side effect of what happens. You'll see that life becomes so much more pleasant and so much more easier for you. So regardless of what you're going through, it could be the loss of a loved one, a loss of a family member, it could be goodness. It could just be like maybe you just lost your job and you're wondering how you're going to come up with money to pay the rent or put food on the table and all of these kind of things. There's so many things, and material life will always throw these kind of things at you. Call it Maya, it's illusion, it's this illusory thing. And in the moment when we're living in this material life and we're not focused on the divine and truth and things of truthfulness, we have this, you know, we start to buy into this lie that we are like at the mercy of all these things and these happenstances and all these occurrences, all these things that happen. When in truth, really, the only thing in life that really, truly, honestly matters is God, however you define it. And so this is our opportunity this weekend, today on Saturday, to kind of connect with God and this is a time of supplication so we can actually, you know, love God and put our heart more out there for God, and of course serve God and serve the devotees more. And so that's kind of the message here today, about just letting Krishna take care of things. Let Krishna get rid of the materialization, all this stuff that doesn't even matter. No thing in this entire world lasts forever. Um, you know, the camera that's recording this video will one day not be in existence. Um, that keyboard that I was teaching you guys Mahamantra on, as lovely as that tune is, the keyboard that played it will just one day not be in existence. You just don't know when, but it is a matter of time. So all these things, if we're using things for Krishna's pleasure, for God's pleasure, to love God and to put things out, God will of course give mercy and take care for us. I mean, you know, it's been my experience and so many other devotees' experiences. So if you're going through a tough time or you're going through immense trials and tribulations or immense problems and life just isn't happening our way or things are getting hard or difficult for you, today is the day to just surrender and let go. And let God, as the saying goes. So you can practice your yoga and continue to let things go. The nice All right, so we'll end it here, but before I do, I promised you guys that I'd give you guys kind of an update on the weight loss journey. So here's where things are at. Right now, I think if memory serves me right, we were about, I want to say like 221.8 or 221.4 last week. Now I'm at 218.4. So, losing a little bit at a time. Keeping the diet to just one meal a day, doing the monk bowl, 16 ounces of food, and just good variety like vegetables, good nutritional things. Uh, Today is a fasting day for me. It's Saturday. I typically will fast on Saturday. You can take a light snack or whatever you like, and then just kind of let your body just kind of let things go, and and just continue to do your yoga and continue just to really feel good and wholesome. And then tomorrow, of course, we have our feast, Sunday feast. So if you fast today, then you could enjoy that feast in abundance tomorrow. No guilt, right? And even if you go a little bit beyond the 16 ounces, probably not a big deal, right? But you will find, at least my experiences, is that as I take the portion, the 16 ounces, it anything more than that becomes a little bit too much to handle now. Whereas just maybe a month ago, that would have been nothing for me. I could have had like 10 of those, maybe not 10, but I could have definitely taken several portions. So anyway, guys, thanks so much for joining the Bhakti House here on this channel. And don't forget your chants today. Make sure you do your rounds if you can. That's always really good, and will help you relax even more. And yeah, it's just a lot of fun too. And if you guys need malas and stuff, of course, reach out to us through the website. Just go to the contact page and I'll get those for you and we can get you something squared away. Anyways, much love and many blessings. You guys enjoy your Saturday rest and retreat. Hare Bol.